Today we are going to be making some zucchini bread, and I'm going to be making this out of my Heart of the Home recipe book. This is a cookbook that is actually put out by the old Cappers Weekly from Topeka, Kansas. And my grandmother gave me the more Heart of the Home cookbook, but a friend of mine who watches all my videos actually found this. I think she said at a antique store or something, and she bought this for me, and I was so excited because it actually has the zucchini bread recipe that my grandmother used to use. So we are going to use this. This is going to be so good and so fun. So this morning in another video, I had been picking my zucchinis every day, but this one, as you can see, kind of got stuck under a couple of branches out there. I didn't even see this monster. I actually broke it off. So we're going to be making some zucchini bread, and my grandkids will be over tomorrow. They're going to enjoy some of it, but I'm also making some because I'm going to have company next weekend, and I just know that they'll love having some homemade zucchini bread. So I hope you'll join me. This is going to be a super fun episode. So the first thing I'm going to do today, I had a few apricots left over. We've been eating some fresh apricots off the tree. I didn't get too many this year, but I just want to make sure these don't go bad. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut these up and freeze them. I can either use them for Ninja Creamies, or I can use them for some smoothies. So I'm just going to cut these up. All right, there you go. We're going to go throw these out in the freezer, and I'll be right back, and we'll put our zucchini cake together. So the first thing I'm going to do is grate up about 2 cups of zucchini. Now, the reason I like to grate everything, I like to make sure that I can just press these through a nice couple of paper towels just to make sure I get some of the excess water out of this. I just find it helps whatever it is that I'm cooking, like a cake or muffins or what have you, that they just cook up a lot better when you don't have all that extra water from the zucchini. Because we are going to be adding oil and, you know, some different seasonings and things like that, but you want to get as much of your zucchini, you know, really get as much of the water out of the zucchini as you can. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a couple minutes. Now, I want you to just kind of look at this. This is going to make, you're going to be surprised how much water is in these zucchinis. And I'm going to just squeeze some of this water out of these zucchinis. Now, not all vegetables are like this. Zucchini just has a really high water content for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't understand it, but you know, I just deal with it the best I can, and I just find it really works. Some people will pour salt over their zucchini and then they'll, you know, rinse it off. I do that when I make any kind of, you know, relish or something like that, because it really has to kind of soak the water out overnight. But for this actually works really good. As you can see, the zucchini does get a little bit more kind of broken down, but it works fine. We're just going to keep trying to get some of this water out. So as you can see, from 2 cups of grated zucchini, look at all this liquid that I was able to drain off that just by squeezing it through a paper towel. Now, if you leave this in your bread, you're going to end up having a lot harder time with your baking time, getting it to set and all that kind of stuff. So my recommendation is always strain your zucchini if you're going to be cooking with it. If you're going to put it in a soup or something, I wouldn't go to all the trouble, but this is a great thing to do. If you're making a quiche or using it for, you know, for anything that you're baking, go ahead and strain your zucchini. So as you can see, that didn't even make a dent in this zucchini, and this is going to make 2 nice prepared loaf pans of zucchini bread So I've decided that what I'm gonna do is take some of this zucchini tonight. Instead of having our crookneck squash, I'm actually gonna make some air fryer zucchini sticks, very similar to like fried zucchini that you would get at, you know, happy hour, that kind of thing. I'm gonna make some of those, and we're gonna have some air fried zucchini with our chicken and with our dinner. So now comes the fun part. I've preheated our oven to 325 degrees. Now we're gonna start making our zucchini bread. So I'm gonna start off by greasing and flouring a couple of loaf pans, and then we're gonna start putting our cake together. All right, I'm gonna get this excess flour out, and then I'm gonna set these pans aside. All right, I'm gonna start off by beating 3 eggs together into a mixing bowl. Okay, to that we're gonna be adding a cup of oil. Give it another stir. I'm gonna be adding 2 cups of sugar. Oh my gosh, I haven't been in this sugar in a while. I do put vanilla beans in my sugar after I take the vanilla extract out of it. All right, give that a little stir. And I'm gonna put the recipe down below, so don't worry about getting all these ingredients right here over the video. All right, I'm gonna add some vanilla. I'm also gonna be putting in the grated zucchini. Put that in there. And all you're gonna do is just mix these ingredients together. These are kind of hard to do in a mixer when you have this much zucchini, you know, mixed with your wet ingredients. You really don't want it all stuck to the mixing paddle. So I just take a minute and do that by hand. And now we're gonna put our dry ingredients together. To this, we're gonna be adding 3 cups of flour. Now we're gonna be putting our salt in. So we're gonna be putting in a teaspoon of salt. We're gonna be putting in some baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. We're gonna be putting in some baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And then we're also gonna be adding some cinnamon. I love cinnamon, so I put in a rounded teaspoon. And we're gonna give that a stir as well. You wanna mix up your dry ingredients. This is a good way to kind of fluff your flour up if you haven't sifted it. We're gonna add our wet ingredients to our dry ingredients, just like this. We're going to give that a really good stir. Just stir it really thoroughly. This is going to be like a pancake batter consistency. If you've never had a zucchini cake before and you have extra zucchinis, I would definitely recommend giving this a try. This is so good. This is something our family had my whole life growing up. And this simple recipe is a recipe I've used for years. I actually have it written down, but it was so nice to be able to get it out of the original Heart of the Home cookbook. It just makes me think of my grandma every time I cook anything from this. Now, just for my subscribers that are watching me make this and they're thinking, oh my gosh, how's she gonna eat all this on Trim Healthy Mama? Well, I'm not. This is for my guests. I'm not gonna have a bite of this. This is just way off my diet, and at this point I'm trying really hard to get to that 60 pounds by the end of June, and at this point I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but I am working really hard at it. So now I've got my sprayed pans with the flour. So all I'm gonna do is add an equal amount to each of these pans. Just like this. So when my grandma made this, she always made it with nuts. She liked to get those black walnuts. My grandma and grandpa grew up actually they were born in Nebraska, met in Nebraska, but they moved to Oregon and they became obsessed with black walnuts when they lived there. And so she went to a lot of lengths to get the black walnuts, and if she couldn't get them, then she would use the regular walnuts. And she always bought the big walnuts herself and cracked them and then chopped them up. She wanted everything as fresh as she could. So we're gonna leave the walnuts out, and I know this way the kids will eat it. They're not gonna know that there's any kind of vegetable in this cake. It's gonna be a little surprise. All right, so I'm gonna put this in the oven at 325 degrees. We're gonna be cooking this for a whole hour, and then we're gonna check it with a toothpick and make sure the middle's completely done. And then I'm gonna get started on my dinner, but I'm gonna bring you back as soon as we have all of this zucchini cake made. So the next thing that we're gonna be making is some air fryer chicken. Now this is gonna be a ranch flavoring. It's gonna be super easy, but it's also gonna have a ton of flavor. I always spray the bottom of my pan unless I use one of those, brown papers. But for this, I wanna have the chicken really crisp up really good. So I have a little bit of leftover ranch seasoning that I had for some sour cream and onion dip. And I'm just going to put a little bit of this in. I'm not even gonna put the whole thing in. It's a little bit of leftover. To that, I'm gonna be adding some nutritional yeast. I'm not gonna add any salt because there's gonna be enough salt from the seasoning packet. But I am gonna add some pepper and some paprika. Add a little bit of paprika. I don't have a lot left. I need to pick some up next time I'm at the store. And a little bit of cracked black pepper. Gonna give that a little smush. This is our own shake and bake kind of dinner. Want to make sure everything's mixed together real well. Sometimes you get lumps from different seasonings or whatever. You just want to make sure those are out. Now all I'm going to do is just throw all my chicken pieces in here. These are just some chicken tenders that I picked up. I don't have a ton of them. There's probably 5 or 6 in here. But I'm going to go ahead and just give them a really good shake. You want all this chicken coated the best that you can. It's not probably going to coat it 100%, but I don't want to use any breadcrumbs or anything like that. I want to keep this kind of more on the diet side for myself. Let's see how that came out. Wow, those look amazing. Those are actually coated really nice. All right, so we're gonna throw these in the air fryer, just like that. Now I'm gonna leave the leftover little seasonings in this bag. I do have a little bit left. And when I turn this chicken, I'm just gonna put whatever I have left in here on the top of these chicken pieces. So that's all we're gonna do. We're gonna just put those there. I'm gonna set this aside. Crisp it up really good. I always give it a little quick spray. And throw it in the air fryer for about 12 to 14 minutes. And I put it on high, right at 400 is the top one that I can cook at on mine. So this is how my chicken looks after about 12 minutes. I just give it a turn. As you can see, it's not really sticking to the pan at all. It really helps to spray it if you're not going to use those little brown paper things. Now this next one will really crisp it up. Now I don't have a lot of this topping, but I have a little bit. I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle that right over the top. Now we're gonna take just a little bit more spray and just spray the top so these will crisp up. That's all we're gonna do. Put it in for another 12 minutes and our chicken will be done. Now I realized when going through this that I was gonna make some zucchini in the air fryer, but I realized I have a whole bunch of broccoli that I forgot I had in the refrigerator, and I don't want it to go bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean my broccoli. I'm gonna put it in my Sistema steamer, and we're gonna have broccoli tonight with our chicken and our salad, and it's gonna be delicious. The thing I really like about this steamer is I go ahead and throw all my broccoli in, and it kind of works as a colander as well. So I'm going to take this over and clean all my broccoli, and then I'm going to fill this to the fill line with water and throw it in the microwave for 8 minutes. It'll be perfect when we're ready to eat. The last thing I'm going to do to my salads is put some of these beautiful nasturtiums on them. Now I actually soak these nasturtiums and then I let them dry and just check them really carefully because caterpillars love nasturtiums. All right, I'm gonna set this one aside for my husband for later. Isn't that pretty? And nasturtiums are so good. They have kind of a peppery taste. You know, I love pepper, so even though I'm gonna put some additional pepper on mine, I'm going to put these nasturtiums on, and they'll give a little bit more flavor to this, a little bit more peppery flavor to my dish. Check, check, check for caterpillars. Just like you have to check all of your fresh fruits and vegetables. I mean, bugs like to eat too. So there's my salad. My broccoli is completely steamed. I put a little cheese on it. So let me go ahead and plate this up, and I'll show you how the chicken came out. It's just absolutely perfect making it this way. So let me go ahead and plate it up, and then I'll go ahead and give the chicken a try for you. You can see how good it came out and see if it's something you'd like to make. All right, let's give this ranch chicken a try. Delicious. Boy, that's good. Give this chicken a try. It is delicious. You will love it. This is going to be a perfect healthy dinner. I'm so excited to eat. So this is my zucchini bread. This is how it came out. I just wanted to show you how much it's risen. A lot of times people talk about how they have trouble getting their zucchini bread to rise. And I think a lot of it, like I said earlier, is that the zucchini doesn't have the water taken out of it. So it's gonna make the batter a lot more wet and harder to really cook. So anyway, these came out perfect. That was just 2 cups of grated zucchini. That you saw how easy this was to make. This is super delicious. I'm actually gonna leave one out. I'm gonna freeze the other. These freeze amazing. Just make sure that you put plastic and foil over it and just make sure there's no air in it. And this will definitely last like up to a month in the freezer, and it's really delicious. Thanks for watching today. I appreciate it. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring that bell for future notifications, and I'll see you next time.